people, friends, and stuff. Welcome to another round of Beer Thursday. We am your hosts, Shane and Jay, and today we have got a special guest. And this special guest is our very first patron, and her name is Kiki. Kiki, welcome to a Beer Thursday.
Cheers and thank you.
Welcome to the show, and thank you for your
Paying
patronage
for your beer each month.
through all these years.
Yeah, I think you mentioned at one time the only reason you're still a patron is because you can't figure out how to cancel.
I don't remember what it's on auto pay for, and it's just easier to leave it than figure it out.
I like that. That's what we hope we do. We get most of our audience to do if we can get more patrons.
Isn't that the way of most subscriptions? You're just like, I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
remember. Yeah,
Yes.
okay. It'll, yeah.
Hopefully
Exactly.
you forget how you're paying us, and we don't.
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah. And especially
where
if I
it's coming
drink
from.
more, then I'll really forget.
Exactly.
Yes. So here's
Well,
a toast to
I think we would need to thank you. I mean, thank you so much for being like the first one to like actually listen to us. And for those of you that don't know, Kiki is she gives us a lot of feedback and suggestions, and some of the stuff that we do is directly because of her,
Whether you like it or not.
whether you like it or not. And,
and sometimes we're smart enough to heed those suggestions.
yes,
Other times we just forget.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So, because we've got a very special guest, we've got a very special topic that would not have happened if it weren't for the sad occasion of a couple of days ago. I guess, was it Sunday or Monday that he passed?
I think it was Monday.
Monday. And of course, we're talking
Definitely
about
Saturday.
the great, God, I hate you. The great Kris Kristofferson, which it's not funny that he died. It's really serious, but I don't know about you guys, but I know Shane and I are big fans, right?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, there haven't been very many people where I was upset when they passed, because celebrities, because they're celebrities. I don't know them. It's sad when anybody passes, but not very few of them affect me. But Chris
Yeah.
Cornell was one, Alan Rickman, and now Kris Kristofferson. And we've kind of dreaded this
Yeah.
for a while now because he was getting on up there in the age brackets.
Yeah. And I listened to this live album, this album that was recorded, I think it was last year for Willie Nelson's 90th birthday. And he was one of the guests on there, and he was singing with, I can't remember who he was singing with, but it just didn't sound like he was fully aware of everything. And I know that he had Lyme disease, and they thought it was dementia, but it was Lyme disease. But I think he did eventually. I mean, my guess is eventually he did have at least some form of dementia, because he just didn't sound there.
I'm actually quite surprised that it wasn't Willie before him, but
Yeah.
I guess that's a testament to medical marijuana, maybe?
Maybe.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think in all seriousness, I would say that could be the case. I think that stuff has some benefits that not everybody wants to admit.
Well, I mean,
Well,
he's chill
So
as
kids,
fuck.
do
so-
drugs.
I
The
mean,
state of Nevada will support that.
but oh man, don't even get me started on Willie. I'll be devastated. I was pretty damn devastated about Kris Kristofferson, but I felt like it was coming. I was still surprised, but I felt like after listening to that album, I'm like, he's not sounding good. So yeah. was-
Ironically, when I heard the song that I went back to listen to wasn't necessarily any of his recordings, but a song that he wrote that actually most people don't realize he did the first version of it because the one that's popular is the Janis Joplin version,
Mhm.
Me and Bobby McGee. And that
Yeah.
originally was about a girl, and she rewrote it about a guy.
Yeah.
And then it was,
So
then
woke.
2 months later, she passed herself, and then, oh, look, this is a big hit. And it's like, nope, he wrote that.
He wrote that. Yeah. Yeah. That was
Mhm.
a huge hit for him. I guess that's kind of got him on the map, I'm guessing. So, I mean, he wrote so many great songs. I mean, he really was. And beyond that, he was a rogue scholar. Uh, he went to he went to West Point. He was
He was in when he retired, what was he, a captain
something like
in
that.
the Army? That's right. It was the Army.
Yeah.
He was an captain.
I mean,
Yeah, he was an
all of
Army Ranger,
that,
I think.
Mhm.
I mean, all of that, don't you get any job you want after that? And
And you pick singing.
not
Yeah.
a great story that he leaves his family to move to Nashville, but leaves his family, moves to Nashville, and gets a job as a janitor in a recording
Mhm.
studio. Or is that all true, or is that just legend that I'm believing
No,
because
no,
he's a
that's
legend
true.
and I wanted to
I
believe it?
I heard an interview with him, and he was talking about that. He was a janitor, and Johnny Cash was very nice to him and sort of kind of took him under his wing, and they would talk like all the time. And then there's the famous story, which he's says is true, which I don't doubt it. He had a song that he wanted to pitch to Johnny Cash, so he flew to his house in a helicopter and landed in his backyard to present him
Yeah,
with
I forgot
this.
about that
Uh-huh.
story.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the urban legend part of it is that he got out holding a beer in one hand and and the tape in the other.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was true.
And so in 1970, his first album, when it came out, a lot of those songs had already been recorded by
Mhm.
other artists. And then that was kind of his, well, I can perform these too.
Yeah.
And he didn't have a great voice because anytime I would try to get someone to listen to him, they would say, well, he can't sing. He can't sing very well. But neither could Townes Van Zandt or Bob Dylan,
Yeah.
but
I
the
mean,
craft, but still could put on a show.
it wasn't, it wasn't about his voice to me. I mean, yeah, I liked his voice, but that's just, that's just me. But he was a hell of a songwriter, one of our best. And he was just, you know, and like Sunday Morning Coming Down, that's the one I think that Johnny Cash made famous. Just a freaking genius song. God, he wrote so many great songs.
Yeah, it's really easy to just go through any song and pick out genius, well-crafted lyrics.
Well, I think for some, it was like he had that gravelly, raspy tone long before it became popular. I mean, if you look at all the metal groups today, that's what it's all about. So he was,
Yeah.
trendsetter and groundbreaking then, which was why it was like, I don't know if I like his voice or not because
Yeah.
of that.
And unlike some of those people that have that kind of voice, they're not the songwriter that he was, and you look past that voice. In fact, the voice kind of helped you with the song, like Silver Tongue Devil, the one he wrote about Shane. Uh, uh, what was the one where he made a bet with the devil?
To Beat the Devil.
To Beat the Devil, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a hell of a good song.
A lot
Good.
of the devil and a lot of bodies in his lyrics.
Speaking of bodies, somebody's turn to do a toast would be about right now, wouldn't it be?
Oh, yes, it would be. Hold up.
I
Pause for
actually
just
have
a second.
something, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I
Oh, I guess where did Shane go? I guess he's just
He's gonna get his
Good thing
beverage.
that-
he got his beer. Good for you,
Put
Shane.
the studio near the fridge.
All right. So you got one for us, Kiki?
I got one for us. Got it ready.
Yes. Yes.
So in honor of Kristofferson, this is what he wanted as his epitaph on his headstone.
Oh,
So, like a bird on a wire, like a drunk in a midnight choir, I have tried in my way to be free. Cheers.
that's a beautiful
Cheers.
song, by the way. Have you heard
Rest-
Johnny Cash's version of that? He did it like it was with an orchestra backing him, and it was just it was around the when he was doing all those things with super great producer. What's his name? Good Lord.
Rick Rubin?
Rick Rubin, yeah.
Yes.
And
You're
but that is a
welcome.
beautiful song. Did he write that or was that somebody else?
Which song is that?
Bird on a Wire.
I want to
Like
say
a
he
bird
did.
on a wire. La, da, 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 da. I'm working my way
I
through
don't
the green.
I don't recall hearing Kris Kristofferson sing it.
Yeah, but that's
I
a
hear,
beautiful. I like that. That's a beautiful epitaph. Good for you, Kris.
and I can't get the 1100 Spring song "Bird on a Wire." I can't get past that one. You hear that one? But I know that Johnny Cash has that song. But my
We can
mind
segue
is a
into. No, don't
mm,
forget his time of. If we're gonna do this, we gotta talk about the Highwaymen.
Oh yeah, I think that could be a whole new round.
That could be.
man.
Oh man,
I mean,
so I went to
Oh.
look up "Bird on the Wire" and I typed in "beer on the wine."
Okay, good job, Jay.
Bird on a Wire,
Yeah.
not to be confused with the Mel
Yeah.
Gibson Goldie Hawn movie as well, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because that was such an Academy Award winning one there.
Leonard Cohen wrote that song. The great Leonard Cohen.
Oh, wow! I would not
Learn
have
something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about them apples? So I think would be nice. Oh, one thing that I was surprised. I used to, I'm a huge Elvis Presley fan, as you both know, but I loved, he did the song Why Me Lord. And I had no idea until several years later that Kris Kristofferson wrote that song.
Yeah.
And I always just thought it was like a gospel standard because it sounds like it, and so it's just, and then finally when he recorded it, I think it was the Austin Sessions or whatever it was. It was great.
And he had it on an early, he had it on one of
Did
his
he?
earlier albums too, but the
Okay.
recording on the Austin Sessions was,
That whole Austin Sessions was a great album. I liked it that he just re-recorded his songs a lot more acoustic-y and down, just kind of
Stripped it
simple,
down.
stripped down. Yeah, exactly. I like that. Favorite Kris Kristofferson song, Kiki Go.
how could you even choose?
Yeah.
I'll say one of your favorite. How about that? Like a song by Kris Kristofferson that when you feel like you want to hear a Kris Kristofferson song, what would be your go-to? And he doesn't have to be singing it either.
Oh, sell out.
I was gonna say there's a song called, what is that one? For the Good Times.
Yes.
Off that, what was that album? I'm Still in Love with You. There's that one, and then there's a duet he does with Rita Coolidge.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the name of it right now. But those would be like in my top two.
Those are
'Cause I
great.
think there's
Yeah.
a lot because they did like 3 albums together, so there's quite a few.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Shane?
Man, I don't know. I thought you might ask that. So I looked up a particular one, and because it's one that nobody ever mentions, and I don't get it because it's so brilliant. But it's a song called "Just the Other Side of Nowhere."
Oh yeah, that's a good song.
I think on his first album, and that one kind of stands out because then from the album Spooky Lady Sideshow, there's so many songs on there that I just love, and I couldn't really pick one. So yeah, Just the Other Side of Nowhere stands out.
Didn't you buy that one time and it was like super expensive, like on eBay or something like that?
Yeah, the CD was really rare.
Yeah.
So it was like $70 for a CD.
Yeah. Yeah, I was listening to it on Amazon the other day and thinking, wow, Shane paid $70 for this.
And then, like few years ago, I found it the vinyl for $8.
Of course you did. That's awesome.
Now you just need an 8-track version, and you have the trifecta of old media.
See, I didn't even think about that.
Very good. Very good.
Which is that, if we ever have a conversation about top 5 albums, Spooky Lady Sideshow is in my top 5.
I need to go back and listen to that again because I don't remember it very well.
Well, you should.
Another song, another song that I really,
Not that song. That's a
Drink
different
up,
song.
motherfucker, drink up.
I love the "Don't Let the Bastards Get You Down."
Yes.
There's a story about it after he was at a concert on the bill was Sinead O'Connor, and this is right after she had performed this song on SNL and got booed and all that kind of stuff. And so she comes on stage and people are booing her, and he comes out and he said, you know, this basically saying, hey, this is a brave, courageous woman, and she deserves your attention. And they're still getting boos. And he whispered something into her ear and basically said, he told her, don't let the bastards get you down.
Yeah, I was going to say
Good man.
one of the pictures is him leaning in, kind of
Yeah.
comforting her and like, hey, brush
Yeah.
this off. Yeah.
'Cause I thought that was cool. Yeah. So
Kiki brought up something interesting. Oh, that's right.
No, go ahead.
No, Jay didn't
No.
answer. Well, it's a completely different question. So sorry,
Oh.
Jay, I didn't let you.
So
Anyway, Kiki,
Not you two talking over each other. That never happens.
no. So I was thinking the song you mentioned, "Don't Look So Sad, I Know It's Over." That's one of my go-to. I love that song. But the other one is "Loving Her Was Easier Than Anything I've Ever Done Before."
Yep. That is a
Love
good
that
one.
song.
Yep.
I was going to
love that
say,
song.
I was also going to say that one or A Moment of Forever.
Normally, yeah. Yes, sir.
Man, both just beautiful songs.
So what were you going to say, Mr. Sir?
Well, and you might have already answered it because you both said your go-to songs, but which made me wonder when you heard the news about his passing, what did you go to? What did you listen to first? Think
Ironically,
back
it
to
wasn't a
day before
song.
yesterday.
The first thing I went to see if I could find it to watch it was to see if I could find Convoy.
Oh my God, yeah.
Wow.
Were you able to find
Even
it?
better.
No,
Oh,
no, it wasn't on any of the streaming services. But
oh my
hey,
gosh.
give it a week or two, maybe it will be. I thought it was ironic when, I was like, oh, Kris Kristofferson died and stuff. My girls were like, who's that? They don't know him for his music. But I said, he was in Dragon Tail,
Yeah.
the movie with Harry Connick Jr. and the dragon the dolphin that doesn't have the tail. And I said,
Yeah.
or Blade. He's in the Blade trilogy. And
Yeah.
they're like, oh, we know exactly who that
Whistler.
is. And I'm like, there you
Oh.
go. Okay. So
He was in one of the early remakes of, well, the 70s remake of A Star Is
Star
Born.
is Born.
Yeah.
Him and
which
Barbara
is,
Streisand.
yeah. Little side note, you probably both have heard this, but Elvis was originally approached for that, but it got nixed by Colonel Sanders. So
Colonel Sanders.
Did you
we're
know
big
that
Elvis
he-
fans, but that was a good call. Kris Kristofferson instead of Elvis for that movie.
yeah.
Did you know that most people don't realize he got a Golden Globe for Best Actor for A Star is Born.
Did he really? I
Yep.
didn't know that. Wow. Who knew?
I've never seen
Well,
either movie. I've never seen either version of that movie.
Convoy is
That I've seen.
79, 80, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
you've got that one. But no, Stars Born, it's good to do. See, now I've seen all 4 versions.
Mm-hmm.
There's 4. Wow.
There's 4. There was don't ask me actresses now, because here's where the old fart brain kicks in. The second version is the one that has Judy Garland and I can't remember his name right now. That version, and then the one with Kristofferson and Barbara Streisand is the third one, and then Cooper and Gaga is the 4th one.
And man,
Judy
that was
Garland and it's not there. James Mason.
James Mason, yes.
I was going to say, it
No
definitely
relation.
wasn't Mickey Rooney for sure.
No, don't think
Elvis
so.
Costello.
Gosh.
But
yeah.
interestingly
And-
enough, too, is talking about the Highwaymen and stuff, most people don't realize that they did a TV movie version, a remake of the old 1939 movie Stagecoach.
Yes.
And it was broadcast on CBS and everything. And the funny part is Willie Nelson as Doc Holliday. So now it's like, who does it better, him or Kilmer? Well, okay, Val's gonna win, but
hands down,
it's still one of those. But interestingly enough, June Carter Cash is in that version, as well as John Schneider.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't watch that.
It was his interim leaving or the tail end of like Dukes of Hazzard and stuff. So they cast him in that too. So I kind of had a little crush on him too. So
yeah, he was just a good old boy.
Yes, never mean no harm.
Never.
And I wonder if because Waylon did the Dukes of Hazzard, that maybe it was like, oh hey, how can I bring my buddy on, kind of thing. So
I bet you're right.
Yeah. What year did that Tim Burton Planet of the Apes come out? Because he was in that.
Oh, that's right.
90s?
No, it was the.
I wish there was a way
to
to
learn. It could have been the end of the 90s or the early
things.
I wish there was. What do they call that?
Something. It starts with a G. I can't remember what that is, or is it that IMD something or other?
And the greatness of Lone Star, Kris Kristofferson and Matthew McConaughey. Come on.
2001 was the one.
2001 Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
When did Lone Star come out?
Lone Star?
96. Matthew McConaughey and Kris Kristofferson. I mean, who else could you possibly have?
I forgot that Kris Kristofferson was in the Planet of the Apes. It was funny because Charlton Heston was in it and he played a monkey.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
In fact, he uttered the line, "Damn dirty humans."
It came full circle.
It did. It came full circle.
He brought it back around.
Speaking of bringing it back around.
It is time to bring this thing back around. Put it on the ground. On the ground, not in it, because that would be a poor taste to say that at this point in time.
Rest in peace.
Well, let me close with a good fitting farewell from Just the Other Side of Nowhere. The last verse, taking nothing back to show there for these dues I've paid, but the soul I almost sold there and the body I've been given away, fading from the neon nighttime glow here, heading for the light of day. Just the other side of nowhere, going home.
Nice.
Well, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Kris Kristofferson.
Godspeed. Rest in peace, Jay. Oh, he's still here. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. I'm not trying to rush or anything. Well, Kiki, this was fun. Thank you for being here. We hope you come back next week.
I got nothing else better to do. I guess I will.
Well, we'll see you then. Until then, you just keep on subscribing to Beer Thursday every Thursday morning just to make sure it took. You might have subscribed last week and it didn't take, so hit that button again today. Tell your friends so that they can enjoy this fun stuff too with you. And we'll make sure that next Thursday that we show up in their phone and they get to hear the next rockin' round of Beer Thursday theme song. And it's great. I mean, you could tell. He did.